Welcome to Mindshifters Radio. Today is Wednesday, July the 8th, 2026. Continue, Cami.
So anyway, so I'm
Notice
just
the
trying to
holding your
work
breath.
through, I'm just trying to work through my stuff, do my worksheets. I started a Power Person worksheet yesterday.
Notice how your breath is flowing,
Around,
or isn't.
around all of it. Yeah, it's not.
No.
I have a hard time thinking and breathing at the same time.
Well, can I offer a slight alteration of that thought?
Absolutely.
You have a hard time breathing where there are issues unresolved that you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Because the holding of the breath is just cutting you off from the dissociated content. And, as far as if you're looking for a way to open with her, what you might do is just ask questions. Gee, I remember being told when I was a kid that you had a baby, and I don't remember that. And tell me about it. And, just gently, not confronting. And she can say, oh, no, nothing to talk about there. Or she can maybe open up, maybe just creating a space and making it safe. If you did become the symbol of her resentment at losing her baby, then perhaps that would be a gentle way to open it without forcing it. And if she doesn't, have any conversation about it, you let it go. If she does, then open the space.
Yeah.
Breathe.
I I have done that in the past, and it's just and we even the baby, her name was Maggie. She she came and met us all at one point, and her comment after the fact to Kathy was that we were the coldest bunch of people she'd ever met in her life.
Mm,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Probably the
Um,
most terrified. I can imagine meeting your child would be, if there was guilt, if there was fear, if there was punishment, if it was punishment, the loss of the child, about child being given away. I can imagine there'd just be so much that would
yeah,
move just by meeting them, that it would be difficult to be warm and receptive.
and yeah, because like when she told me that, because I'd always wondered about her and had hoped to meet her. So I was super excited to meet her. And I didn't think about Kathy and my grandma and Cindy, their energy all surrounding it being there in that space too. Because
Yeah.
like I was just thrilled to meet her. She was a female cousin that, well, biological cousin. She was actually my niece legally. Um, it- I well, I didn't know about energy, and I didn't know we were energy back then. I
Right,
didn't,
right.
I didn't know that our thoughts were perceptible by other people. Um, so yeah, that's because I kind of took offense to that when I heard that she said that. Um,
But it's certainly understandable.
it was, yeah, but yet, I've thought about that a lot in the last year. Not really thought about it a lot, but it's come up in my mind a lot. Her saying that and thinking about, yeah, I mean, that's a good way to describe the way my grandma was. I didn't think that the rest of us were. Um, I know that I wasn't, but I can be, but I definitely wasn't in that situation. So
Well, and
anyway,
also think about the filter she would be perceiving through, even if she wasn't consciously aware of it. She was abandoned as a baby by her mother.
Oh,
So
and maybe
what
her
filters?
having
Yeah, what
sorry.
filters would she be unconsciously be perceiving through? So you can certainly see where it
And yeah, sorry.
might be difficult.
And I didn't think about for her, it probably wasn't exciting to meet me because I'm the one they kept.
Yeah,
You know, maybe she had resentment towards me too. So she was looking at me through a totally different set of eyes than I was looking at her through,
yeah,
or brain cells, whatever.
yeah.
Um, you know,
So what
so
gift
that
can we give when we heal that stuff and offer the space, even if you never speak to her again?
yeah, this was gosh, I was in my 20s,
Yeah.
late 20s maybe. Yeah, mid. So I mean, I don't even know if she's still alive, but
While holding the space for your breath to move and whatever's there to be dissolved in you gets to move and be dissolved.
well, that was some good insight that you gave me. Um, and I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna keeping on.
All right, hold space.
All right, thank you.
All right, blessings. Susan, how is
How's your
Alex
son?
doing?
Hi everybody. Oh my gosh, that was a ride. Yeah, so he was going up a hill, speeding. Him and his friends were out driving, and then he was accelerating up a hill and didn't, with the corner's not really marked, it's quite a corner. Well, he flew right through. And there was a cement barrier and then a gate with a big post. So thankfully he didn't get the cement barrier. He went in between. Like that, I mean, hit both, but the impact.
Wasn't
So
just a blunt impact, it was a
yeah, it would have been, it
floating
could have been
down.
a whole different story. And I want to share something about that piece because, oh my gosh. And then, of course, they didn't tell me right away because they knew I would freak out. So I actually, it happened the night before. And they were coming over when I was on the call with you guys yesterday. They said they're coming over. And Alexander, I just want to come, Dad and I want to come over. And I go, what? I'm in the middle of a call. And then
Uh,
Duncan said he was in an accident and the car was totaled. So, okay, so what happened the previous day, I was at a session with my healing touch practitioner, and it came up all about my other Michael. But in that, there was a whole bunch of stuff with Alexander, but he was opening and purifying the DNA, the healing touch practitioner, and I was just bawling. Like, there was the deepest session I've ever had with this practitioner. And they said that they were releasing a family curse, and then he said they were releasing a family curse, and then also changing the DNA for Alexander. That was the morning of. Okay, and the amount of tears, and there's still more work to do with Alexander, but they said it changed the trajectory. I have a brother that almost died at Alexander's age. I had an uncle who did die at Alexander's age. And I felt it when I heard the news from, because it happened that night, it happened the night after I had my session. I think I averted something that could have been way more completely different outcome. And I felt it when I was speaking to Alexander. So that work, all the work that I've done, and also going on the pilgrimage to Europe there, that was all a part of it, the healing touch practitioner said. And so much energy was moving through, and it wasn't mine, when like this tears that were coming through, and it had to do with all being accepted. And my father was adopted. My father's mother was born out of wedlock. My father's mother's mother was born out of wedlock, and then so on. I don't know the generations I could follow. And Alexander was being impacted by that. So, and then also a big one, because I couldn't get into my mother's love, that there was a block there. And also that was what it was for Alexander as well. So, yeah, this is a big, big deal. I felt a huge opening's going to happen between him and I now. I'm just so grateful, and thank you guys for all of your concern. And I know Cami reached out, and you guys, and Jeanie did, and you did, and yeah, I jumped a timeline. I'm going to say it could have been something. I went and looked at the site yesterday. His car is completely totaled, and his passenger took a brunt of it. Like Alexander had the steering wheel. But the airbags did go off, and his friend's chest is really sore, but they got away. It could have been so much worse.
So how are you doing and breathing in all of that?
Yeah, I've been meditated last night after because they left. It was late last night, and I spent the day with them. Had them over for dinner, and then last night I just breathed. I was up at 2 a.m. just breathing. I'm grateful. Gratitude. Because I know it could have been. I know it could have been something. It could have been a completely different outcome.
Yeah, I hear you.
And
Well, I'm
we
glad
don't know.
he's okay.
Yeah, and so I also want to get him into my healing touch practitioner. He has to go to Victoria today with him. His dad are going because he's moving, getting ready for university. But he's coming back, and I'm going to get him because I was telling him the kinetic energy. When you impact like that, he doesn't know how fast he was going, but he was climbing, anywhere from could be 80 to 100. He was clipping along. Okay, and then the curb, he didn't know it was a curb. He thought the road was
That's
straight.
for those who are listening in the U.S. She's talking about kilometers, not miles.
Yeah, kilometers per hour. And so the kinetic energy, when that force, the car hits that force, just like a power person dynamic, that energy is coming into his physiology. And I
Yep.
could feel he's off. Yeah, he's off. Like he's in shock, but he doesn't know. And I'm telling him, sweetheart,
Yep.
I'm on the outside looking in. And I wanted to get him in this morning with the practitioner before he left, but he just said he couldn't do it. But when he comes back on Monday, he's getting in, I think, next Wednesday for an appointment. So
between now and Wednesday, I'd breathe him if I were you.
Yeah, he's not with me. He's gone. He's left this morning to Victoria with his dad.
Right.
So when he comes back, I'll definitely in that. I could see he's off. Like he's not, and he's like the agitation is rising, and
Sure.
I think
That's
what
the problem.
again, this event is bringing up all the unprocessed stuff within him. This frustration, this agitation, this probably not feeling accepted. He said to me, "Yes, he doesn't feel good enough." He got fired from a job. He left one job and went to go painting with his friend, and this friend fired him after a week because he just doesn't have attention to detail. So all these type of things, I think that's not good enough, not feeling accepted.
The old family dynamic.
It's all coming to the surface. I told him that. I told him about my healing session and that we are going to get through this. And you're going through a healing crisis, and we've got the tools to help him process. Yeah.
Yeah. Think about how many young men and young women go through that sort of thing and have no idea what support even means, let alone do they have any. So it's awesome that you've got the brain cells to really.
And Duncan's saying, "Oh, that's a bunch of bullshit." Going to the healing tech. I just freaking stepped into the Great Mother, and I said to Alexander, "Do you trust me?" And Alexander said yes. And then I said, "I'm telling you, your nervous system and physiology will be affected by that accident, and that needs to be discharged." And the healing practitioner, he's an amazing practitioner. Nice. Talking to the body and discharging and also breathing, Alexander. Yeah. We did EFT yesterday too.
Cool.
Also this, I was in my breath this morning. It's also my story because it's my son, right? So this and what's in me, I know for certain that whatever I did with Stefan was very important in purifying that outcome, because it could have been something so much worse, seeing the accident site and hit the total, how much he totaled his car. So
breathing you through it.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you guys.
And Duncan as well. His genetics are impacted as well. So hold the space for him.
I know, and he's so, like, Alexander's supposed to go move with his friends. Like, Duncan's Rocket Gibraltar for Alexander was good, except for on the emotional front. He's like, "Oh, many people getting," he told Alexander, "many people get in car accidents, no big deal." And I just laid down the law. So.
Good for you.
Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Holding a space.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, I had no idea about any of that, Susan. Then I am sitting with you in gratitude for Alexander's salvation, for his his blessed presence on the planet with us
Yeah.
still.
Yes.
And what resonated in me was a similar or an accident where, I was in a car that rolled and fell off a cliff, or fell off a cliff while rolling, I guess I should say. And
Wow.
the the experience of broken windshields and climbing through a broken windshield while upside down, and all that, tiny little frames of memory
Mhm.
back as I was breathing with you,
Mhm.
telling his story.
Yeah.
And so I will continue breathing with you and him as you together
Thank you.
discover what you can about this reset.
Yeah.
Um, it's a big deal. And I'm grateful.
Yeah.
He's so lucky to have a mother like you, that sees a broader picture and is holding space for his healing and becoming. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much, Sally. And I realized there was also another download that kind of came. And I see that we come back around, right, in different bodies. And this, he could have been taken out of the game because of this energetic pattern that's in my family system of not being accepted. And so the outer world is manifesting, or the outer, should say, what I want to say, the energy of his being or my family system beings keep replicating these patterns where the souls that reside in a body that have stuff to do for God get taken out of the game. And thankfully, even when I was with Stefan, and we were talking about Alexander, and I was talking exactly about that he and I came in in a destiny format to be able to help humanity. He has a big part too. And that could have just been ended in that moment. And then he'd have to come back around and do it again, and I'd have to try to complete the task, or do the task. And so I'm not sure yet how this relates to my story, because he's also a projection of my mind that has been externalized. So the part of me that almost ended, I gotta breathe with that. I'm not sure what that's about yet. That's
Yeah, I'm
just
breathing with you on that one. Yeah.
that's coming to my mind just now, so I'm not sure what that's about, but he's a very significant part that I've projected and externalized in
Did
the
you ever
world.
consider taking yourself out?
Did I ever? No, I
Have you?
haven't. No.
No.
I've thought, like, I've had a brief thought that I don't want to be here anymore. Before, I have for sure. Um, but there is something, I don't know what that's about. I can feel that very strong. And then also when Stefan was working with me, because the psoas is the memory of the soul, the muscle of the soul. And when he was doing work, he was, he does it a different way with, it's healing touch, for those that don't know. So he
Right.
just touches your toe, and then he acts as a surrogate. And then he gave me something to hold to my chest, some type of essential oil. I can't remember what it was. Anyways, I was seeing back in Tomar, because I was in the convent of the Christ, and I was called to meditate in there for a couple hours, and to show that there was no victim, there's no perpetrator, and there's no hero. And I was purifying that. But while he was working on me, I saw a rape, and I don't know if it was me, in that timeline, and being released out of my psoas. And I was just sobbing and sobbing and sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. So, and there's something I have to work through in this life that's still buried, and I think it has to do with my neck. And Stefan said I got to do, my next session will be all about Alexander, and the session after that will be about an event that likely happened when I was young.
Mm.
So probably as I'm saying this out loud now, there was a part of me that didn't want to be here anymore because that was too tragic. Whatever happened as a little person.
Yeah.
It was I wanted out.
I
Yeah.
hear you.
Yeah, it was. I can feel
I'll breathe
there's an
with you.
energetic
What's
pattern.
happening?
I
Breath
can
moving?
feel it. I can feel it in my right hip. I can feel it in my sacred, right here in my sacred heart, and also in the neck spot. And then Stefan said, it's 15 days to process what we worked through. My body didn't want it. Said I had to do next sessions. It has to be separate. I can't do them together. One will be with Alexander, and then whatever happened. But I'm ready. The vitality's there, and it's even with Alexander. When I thought that his life was over, I mean, that I could have been over. You don't know. You don't know. It's really
Yeah.
living in every moment. Tell the people that you love them, and or that that the love is present, and that we are love, and showing that in every moment. So
You might
yeah,
want to do a worksheet on the slip of the tongue. It just happened. There may be, with that genetic history, some fear
okay,
that his life will be ended. That might
yeah,
be a good worksheet to
I will be okay.
open to and breathe into.
Yeah, that when I thought that, and I felt there's something there, and it has to do with my story. So thank you.
Yeah.
I'll explore that today.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Breathing with you.
thanks.
So let's
Thanks
all
so
just,
much for listening. Thank you guys.
yeah. Let's go beyond listening and let's just take a moment and invite everybody to connect with breath. And we breathe that breath toward you, Susan, in support of his aliveness, his eternal life, and yours. And affirm that you are welcome here. Your whole presence is welcome here and appreciated. And you deserve to have your life force honored by everyone that you encounter, as all of us do. And as I say that, since that was an issue that Rex was dealing with, let's bring Rex into that breath as well. I think he's probably in surgery about now as
Okay.
well. So let's join in
Yes.
that issue of being recognized, acknowledged, affirmed, and accepted. Let's offer that to Rex too,
Thank you.
as well as to you, Susan. Mm. Breathing with you right to the depth of your soul. Letting the breath reach deeper than it's ever reached within your physiology, all the way down into your, so to speak, genetic toes. Just let that breath move and bring wholeness and holiness there. Sally, extending that energy to you as you allow your physiology to open and perhaps access if there's any residue of that grass rolling down a hill energetically within your physiology, that you're able to reach into it with your breath. Let those anomalous energies go and your physiology return to still a deeper layer and level of balance. And we invite the breath of Rukadukvaja to move in the lives of every young person that's on the verge of danger. Hold the space that they may be guided to just take a breath, tap into the life force in them, and let them live in revelation and awareness of truth. That karmic trauma be undone in them with that breath, and true wholeness be their guide, each and every young person on this planet. and then take it to those who've been around a few years and offer exactly the same. That at each space where there's a potential for damage, for injury, for trauma, for conflict, that each has got it to take a breath and be informed by actuality as to higher courses of action than their ego might take. And then we all understand that all the things that we think we want are things of the ego, things of carbon-based memory, things of the world. And the world cannot offer what it is that anyone wants. It's only the breath that can, a realm that can deliver that fulfillment. So holding the space that we cross that threshold, critical mass, the leavening that leavens the whole loaf, and offer this gift of knowing to every mind, heart, and being on the planet. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. The idea for the Course in Miracles today is together we stand, the Christ and I, in peace and on complete purpose. The
Mm.
creator is in him and he is in me. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Delighted. Any other thoughts for you?
Just I can see my bloodline, my brother who got carbon monoxide poisoning when he was 20 back in 1977, a brother who lost his arm in a gravel crusher at 23, early 80s, and my uncle who passed away in the German War at that age. His arm was blown off. And how the patterns, those energetic patterns, replicate in generations, and the untethering of that. And my
Yes.
ancestors came to me when I was working with Stefan yesterday, and they were bowing to me, and I knew it was a really big deal, and I didn't know what, but it'll be interesting to see what gets revealed. So that was my kitty jumping up. You heard that in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
All right. Holding the
yeah,
space.
thank you so much.
Delighted. And TJ, we haven't heard your sweet voice in a while. Do you have anything to share? Anything on your mind?
Oh goodness, I've been sharing all morning.
Ah,
Not at
well,
this
that's
location.
nice.
Yeah, I've been talking about this 10-day silent Vipassana
Right.
silent meditation retreat that I went on, and the insights that came up for me while I was there, pulled away from everything, no technology, had to take our watches off, turn our keys in, all of that. Very strict
Right.
practice. Started at 4 o'clock in the morning and finished at 9:30 at night, about 10 hours of meditation every day. And just had a couple of breakthroughs on about day 6. So it was very interesting. I I believe I experienced what A Course in Miracles calls a miracle. So a complete change in perception about just thoughts one by one started tumbling in about my mom and my dad and wonderful things they did, and the stories that I was telling, and it was just a complete change in perception about how hard they tried, how hard they worked, what they gave up, how much they sacrificed for us. Always there for support. That was one of my things. I never felt supported by you. Just saw my childish, narrow-minded pinhole of a perception. And,
That's an interesting way to describe it.
yeah, I literally saw, it's like the whole world is covered in black construction paper, and I hidden hole in there, and that's yeah. So,
Interesting. Wow, that's going to change your life big time. Nice work.
yeah. Well, yeah, it is coming back into the world. It is work. It absolutely is work. But
Yeah.
I did, I had these changes in perception about my mom and my dad, and I was using the forgiveness pattern, Dr. Tim's forgiveness pattern, added a couple of lines to it, and repeated that every time I sat down to meditate. And then little by little, one by one, these thoughts came
Nice.
rolling in. Yeah,
That's
so it's like,
fabulous.
okay, that's two people. Now I
I
got the
assume
rest
you
of the
were
world to work
breathing the
on.
whole time.
I'm sorry.
I assume you were breathing the whole time.
I'm really glad of all the pre-work that I did, because I did find myself, like, when I was doing this style of meditation, which is basically just a very attentive body scan, starting at
Right.
the crown of the head, and then just feeling every sensation that, all these 38 trillion cells in your body vibrating all the time, never stop, and
Right.
just feeling these sensations over every square inch of my body, and going down to the feet and up to the head and down to the feet and up to the head. I mean, I could only do that like 3 times in about an hour. And just noticing how much the mind gets distracted. So the guy who opened these Vipassana meditation centers all over the world, they did a presentation video at the end of the day, followed by, of course, a meditation. But he would talk about, okay, this is what we did today, and this is what we're going to do tomorrow, and this is why this works. And, you don't have to give up any other practice. This is completely non-sectarian. You don't have to start reading anything. You don't have to stop reading anything.
Right.
All the things. And but I noticed that during that meditation, with that kind of focus, when I'm focusing on a body part and trying to keep my mind with me, um, I noticed that my breathing was like, every once in a while, I was like, okay, just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. Okay, start focusing. But that kind of attention really slowed down my breathing. So
But
I was,
did it stay connected?
I beg your pardon?
Did your breath stay connected through that process?
I believe it was. I believe it was. I believe that it had to have something to do with that breakthrough.
Yeah, because the whole concept with the still point breathing is not how fast or how deep or how often. It's just that the breath is connected. And for myself, I found some of the deepest resolution and the deepest guidance that I've got has been given to me on a breath that went
Mm,
no more than that. So he is
mm.
connected. Well,
Okay,
that's
I
awesome.
appreciate that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, I'm supposed to be continuing that meditation process at least 1 hour in the morning and at least 1 hour in the evening. And it's completely different from any type of, I've always done a guided meditation. I've done the same guided meditation for probably 10, maybe 15 years. And I've always done it lying down. Um, so I was seated. I got to where I could keep my attention pretty much on the process,
Nice
and
work. Okay.
sit in a chair still, completely still, not move a muscle for an hour. So I was really, uh, I was, that was an accomplishment in itself. And then just keeping the mind present. I mean, that first day, he actually talked about that in that first video, the first night after we did our first meditation. He said, if you notice, your mind never wants to be here. It wants to be in the past. It wants to be in the future. It wants to think about the problem. It wants to create a problem. It wants to solve a problem. So that was very interesting. And something else really interesting happened, Dr. Rice. The very first day, my mind was going everywhere. But the second day, when I was in meditation, I had all these thoughts come up with people I didn't know, places I'd never been, and doing things I'd never done. Not a single thought in that hour of meditation, that when I strayed from the meditation, none of it was about me. it was very strange.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Congratulations, TJ, because I've done Vipassana meditation retreats as well. And it
Have you?
takes, yeah, it takes, 4:30 in the morning till 9:30 at night. And the person's name is Goenka. And he
Yeah, that's
brought it,
him.
yeah, he brought it from Burma to India and then made these centers all over the world where it's all by donation, that you don't pay anything
Correct.
until you complete the 10-day meditation.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, and it takes, I totally understand. I remember the first day, he has you do, I think, just focusing on the breath here, and then you have to go the triangle here. Like, I thought it would kill me now. I
Cancel
was
that
like,
though.
I'm not gonna make it. And then it was so intense. And then they teach you just to scan, managing a 4x8 sheet of a scanner, and you just scan your body and you just notice sensation. And you don't attach to it, you just notice. You're just supposed to let it pass by. And then you scan all the way down, and then you come all the way up, and everybody's cycle is different. Like you said, you had 3 cycles per hour of scanning.
Yeah.
But
But I think if I was really going like
yeah,
centimeter by centimeter,
yeah,
and it took me a couple of days to get it because when I first started,
yeah,
I was thinking about body parts like,
yeah,
okay, now I'm going to focus on my cheek. Now
yeah,
I'm going to focus on my tricep.
yeah,
Now I'm going to focus on my,
yeah,
my deltoid. That's my medial deltoid. And I was
yeah.
like, oh no, we're thinking too
No,
much about
yeah.
this.
And then yeah, you learn. I know it takes about 3 days for that well, the
Yeah.
mind's so busy and takes over, and then you set on day 2. And we don't know, it could be the stuff that you saw that you've never done, could be ancestral because you're in a deep. Now I could give language to before, to when I did Vipassana. You're just observing within the DNA structure that might have been related to your family system of experiences that needed to be liberated and transmuted, the energy. And you just get to be a witness, and you get to be the beautiful ancestor that could hold the space for the liberation of whatever energy had to be transmuted. And to say, for those that don't know, I mean, I know when I did it, you're in, I sat on these little meditation just chair, but you're 2.5 hour sittings, and you only eat, breakfast is usually at 7, and then you're 2.5 hour, I don't know about you, at 2.5 hour sits, and then you have
Mhm.
lunch, and you're just back at it. And then I don't know about you, but they have a very light dinner. And
I would like tea with a
yeah,
fruit.
okay, yeah, and if you've gone more than once, you don't get fruit, you just get
Yeah.
tea, right, a dinner. And then you go back and meditate again, and then there's a discourse that Goenka gives in
Yes.
video format
Yeah.
about what to expect the next day, what's going to be coming, and so it sets up the mind for the next session. So
Yeah, and
it's
those 12
yeah,
precepts were interesting too. I
yeah,
really wanted to go back and look at those because they're
yeah,
just like
yeah,
how to live
yeah,
rightly,
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
I
yeah,
would
I want to go
highly
back and,
recommend it for anybody. Like, it just, you want to meet yourself. If you want
but
to
you
meet
need to be
yourself,
ready. I
yeah,
think, I think you need to be ready
yeah,
because it was
sure.
like I read a couple of reviews and one guy was saying this person that he was sitting next to, was all excited about being there, but he didn't last 2 days.
Yeah, I know. I
So,
have 2 friends that went that didn't last. They last day 6 and day 4, and they meet themselves, and then they were projecting in the outer that, oh my God, I had to leave because of this. But I tried to, before they started, you're just going to meet yourself. Everything you see, go inwards. And I had a
yeah.
really weird experience. So I saw in mine that I was, and oh, by the way, I had a Kundalini awakening, and I would say I'm shut down sexually, right? So that energy came through, and it lasted for 2 days constantly. Okay, I
Oh,
was
wow.
freaking out. And then I also saw a life where a man had, I don't know if it was me or my ancestors, where he had trapped a woman in a cabin and had raped her repeatedly and killed her. I
Oh,
saw this,
man.
right? And I was just like, I was freaking out. And then, of course, you don't get to talk to, there's a house mother, and the women sit on one side, the men sit on the other. So I want to talk to, and then there is the Vipassana teacher who just holds space and is meditating while you're meditating. She sits at the front of the room. And I don't know how many
Mhm.
people you had. There was about 75 in mine.
There's about 40 women and about 20
Okay,
men
okay, and then so
separately.
I went to the house mother. I need to speak. I need to speak to, because you don't speak. But I said I need to speak to her, and she just said just observe. That's what she told me to do. But I was freaking out, and then all this energy this sexual energy was going through my body, and I was going to these distorted thoughts, which I never had before. And I thought I was going to go crazy. And so I have no idea what that was all about, and family system, who knows? Now I have more language being here, but I would have done it in 2012. I was just, and I was guided there to do it. And then I come back, and you're supposed to do it every day. I did it for one day, didn't touch it for a year. Okay?
Yeah, I've just started practicing again. I did it the first day,
Yeah.
and then my husband went on a little
Yeah.
vacation trip on a motorcycle he was doing. And then I was like, oh, free, the house is empty. So
Yeah.
I kind of got away from it, and I started back again yesterday.
And it might stop. Like, honestly, I did it for one day and it stopped for a year. Then all of a sudden I heard in my inner voice, and it just said, it's time to start meditating again. I didn't meditate for a year. And said, then it came in that it's time. And, I've had a regular meditation practice since then. But yeah, it's funny. I mean, the soul knows exactly what it's doing. So bravo to you, TJ.
Wow.
To go to that depth and meet yourself, that takes a lot of courage and a lot of tenacity to.
Tell you, I wasn't ready to leave on day 8. I was like, I am going to miss this place. They gave me back my phone. I'm like, I don't want it yet.
You can do 21 day sits.
They
You
have
can
40
do-
and 62.
Yeah. And
I'd like to
people-
do this. I mean, if I could, ideally, I would do it 4 times a year.
Okay.
A minimum,
Awesome.
a minimum of 4 times a year, every
Yeah.
3 months. Clear,
Okay.
clear,
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
Get out of the
Yes.
habits, get out of the routines, get away from the people,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of interesting because, like, I don't really have a full-time job.
Yeah.
I mean, I do this little spin class a couple times a week.
Yeah.
I don't have any children here at home. There's nobody that's really relying on me, but
Yeah.
there's this incessant, like, okay, I got to answer that text. Okay, I got to pay that bill. Okay, I got to do that quick entry. Okay, I got to put this on the calendar. Okay, I got to call that person. And it's like none of that was there. And it really, for me, it was self-care 100%.
Beautiful.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And there's another modality, also Vipassana, which I did last year in
Oh.
Hornby Island, which is 15 days. It's
Oh.
walking. It's a prostration meditation, walking, and then sitting. It's amazing for 15 days. So I'll send you the information on that.
Yeah.
That was really profound. It's hugely profound. Very, very profound. And Hornby Island is a magical, mystical island, and here in Vancouver, Island,
Really?
just off Vancouver Island, yeah. So you never know.
Okay.
Never know.
Wonderful.
But yeah, I wanted to say this amazing. It's amazing when people can meet themselves and go that deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bravo
Yeah.
to you, TJ.
But I think it takes getting away from all the distractions.
Yeah. Well, you learn the distractions as I can tell you in my own experience, life is a meditation. It doesn't, it becomes every moment becomes that. You wake up in the morning, you set the day, and you're in breath, like Michael says, that's an ongoing process. And everything you meet is a sensation of some sort, and then you just breathe through it. It becomes that. It will.
He talked about that at the end. He said,
Yeah.
we want you to get to the point where you're
Yeah.
doing a walking meditation all the time.
Yeah. It
Kind
will
of like
come.
praying without ceasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, it comes.
You wanna
Like, I
make
think
sure-
it's initiation, right, Michael? It's just the initiation. Every soul has to go through this, but it will become that, where it's just every day.
And one of the things, especially as you speak so enthusiastically about getting away, is to make sure that it's not a geographic cure. And that you take every issue that you're escaping from and bring it into that space with you.
Mm.
Yeah, beautiful said.
Well, thank you for that last comment, Michael, because my Vipassana retreat was years ago. I was trying to remember the date, but sometime around 1988.
Mm.
And what I remember the most strongly is the first 3 days I cried. I cried all through the day, every day of those first 3 days. And the fourth day I woke up and I was in this such peace. And my mind almost didn't know what happened. It was trying to figure it out, you know. And then I just started going into day 4 with that peace, and I think I carried that through the rest of the time because I also didn't want to leave. I remember distinctly thinking, this is odd. Me, who thought this was going to be so hard for me and that I would want to run at the end, I'm sitting here just wanting to do the opposite. So, yeah, thank you for that last comment, because I did bring a ton of pain with me to that. And thank goodness the breath will move it.
And this is what you're describing combined with this whole conversation. This is what we mean when we're talking about acceptance. We're not saying, oh, well, you know, they're there beating up on you, so you just have to lay down and accept it. That's not what we're talking about with acceptance. It's this, I mean, bringing your whole being and your whole breath to what happens, whatever happens, and maintaining your human life first and foremost. If you give up your human life, i.e., you buy into rage or fear or grief or pain, then nothing you do is of any real value because you've given up your human life. First order of business, keep your human life. And when they said to Yeshua, what's most important? Rachma. What is Rachma? Rachma, first of all, keeps the mind on track with love. But secondly, it's the gateway that brings your human life into your human form. Without it, nothing is accomplished. And breathe.
Yeah, that was actually when all the good stuff started flowing in, the good memories and all the ways that they were supportive and helpful and, you know, the best parents that they could possibly be and their dreams. And then I also saw that other side of me, that selfish, self-centered, narcissistic, sadomasochist, you know, so that was part of the process too. Like just talking with Dr. Tim just now, it's like, okay, now instead of doing it to them, you're doing it to you. So watch out here because the judgment just got moved to a different target. And I was like, oh yes, I see now. Okay, okay. So yeah, that acceptance is huge. That acceptance is, I mean, like you always say, what else is there to do?
What else is there to do? That's it.
What else is there to
And all
do?
you're getting, get a human life. Because all the getting of the world, I've actually been doing another chapter on it's all Greek to me, and recognizing that, you know, we have experiences and carbon-based memory registers those experiences. That's its job. It's not the job of carbon-based memory to provide those experiences. It's to register them and give us information about it when we need it. And we turn to carbon-based memory expecting it to give us back that wondrous experience we had when this whole, oh wow, this was so great. Well, all carbon-based memory can do is register that. It can send you back, give you back some sort of a replica of it, but the replica is a replica from the past, and there's no present in the past. And that's why ultimately you've got to be out of your mind. And as you're out of your mind, then you enter the present, and that's where the present, the gift is. And the only place that gift comes from is from the breath. It can't be, it's replica, it's cheap copy can be given by carbon-based memory. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, let me serve that memory up. But a memory of beauty and wonder, the same as a memory of pain, is just a memory of beauty and wonder, or a memory of pain. It's not pain and it's not beauty and wonder, but people turn it into pain and they turn it into beauty and they pursue. But it's futile because it's only the live experience. That's where Yeshua says, I came to bring you life. Like, you need to get a life first. So.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Delighted, honored. Glad you brought the whole conversation up. And it takes me back about, I'm not even sure when it was. Jeanie, had we met when I did a Vipassana retreat? I don't remember whether it was before I met you. 22 years, but I did a 10-day sit too. It's very sweet.
No, it was for me.
Was it? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. So it's more than 20. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but yeah, coming into the present.
Well, like I say, all the pre-work, all my attempted worksheets, all my listening to the radio shows, all my, yeah, I mean, yeah, all that got me ready. So I'm so appreciative. Thank you.
Yeah, delighted. Pass it on. Pass it on. That's
I talk about Dr. Michael Rice all the time.
each one, teach one, and it will go through the world like wildfire. And that's the objective: is every mind, heart, and being on the planet. So,
And Jeanie, I want to tell you, I bought 4 copies of your book because I intended to give them away and read them. And when I
and now
said
you've read it 4 times instead.
my
I couldn't
husband
resist. My apology.
he finished the book before I did. And he said, now I kind of see what you're talking about because he doesn't know anything about worksheets. He doesn't know anything
Who
about
did?
forgiveness.
Who was that?
My husband
Oh,
read the book and he
oh,
said, now I can
cool.
see what you're talking about. Not that he does it or,
Yeah, well,
understands it, but he understands me a little bit better from reading your book.
hey,
So
the introduction,
blessings.
you says there's the opening. So,
Yeah,
and there's the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, but
right.
you can make him thirsty. When people see, when people see the changes you go through, when they see that yesterday you'd been doing rage and today you're doing breathing, they go, I need some of that.
Mm,
So it's the best thing you can do is help somebody build the brain cells. So passing it along is awesome.
thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Sally,
Mm.
Kathy.
Good luck. Any other thoughts for you, Sally, before we close it out?
Nope, I'm clear and thank you.
All right. Well, let's take the last 2 minutes. Susan, another thought for you before we go? And let's just take a moment. Go ahead, Susan.
I just wanted to say I'm good. And thanks, everybody. And
Okay.
thanks for sharing that,
All right.
TJ, bringing that into the field.
All right. So let's just take this next 2 or 3 minutes and allow yourself to just close your eyes and let your jaw soften. Scan your body like you were in a Vipassana meditation retreat and just notice were there any tensions. And take your breath to those tensions and let them soften. As you breathe, go to the next level of becoming aware of any tensions, the next subtlety. And as you breathe, allow them to soften. Allow your in-breath and your out-breath to flow as a unit. And the time that you choose to spend breathing, that you do one continuous connected breath. If you're going to do a 5-minute meditation, determine that for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to take one breath. And you make that breath a minute, you start the inhale and take it to the top. You begin the exhale. When you reach the bottom of the exhale, you instantly start the inhale. So it's a 5-minute breath. And if you're going to do that meditation for 10 minutes, then do a 10-minute breath. 20 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour, 14 hours. One continuous connected, bringing the breath of the creator, the intelligence of the creator, the healing power of the creator into deeper and deeper relationship with every cell in your structure and every aspect of your genes. and joining you in that process, appreciating each of you. Blessings.